Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, and we have a new year, new month, and of course, the sales data from the auto companies is now floating in. We have M&M and the data that has come in for the month of December, and we are going to be decoding all of that with our special guest today, Nalinikanth Gollagunta. He's the CEO of Automotive Division for M&M and the Executive Director of Mahindra Electric Automobile also joining in. Warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for taking the time out, and here's wishing you a very, very happy new year from the entire team of Business Today Television.
Thank you, and happy new year to you and your viewers as well.
Thank you so much. So help me understand, how the last month really panned out for you, 2025. I'm sure a lot of festive demand, a lot of wedding related demand would have come together to post this kind of a growth that you posted. Give me a sense of where did you see maximum growth?
Yeah, absolutely. So December was a strong month for us, and we did about 50,946 units, 23% year-on-year growth on SUVs. But I should also note that even our LCVs under 3.5 ton did very well, 24,076 units, so 34% growth there. So in general, both of it, one of the biggest drivers has been GST. Since September, we have seen this, not just for us, for the industry as well, and it's kind of acted as a nice catalyst in terms of demand. That's played out in November, and that kind of carried on into December as well. So we see some of that playing out. And of course, our EVs, which we launched a year ago, both these EVs have done well. And in December, we saw strong momentum on that front as well. So it's a bunch of factors, portfolio, GST coming in, the EVs adding additional volume growth for us. All of this have contributed to the growth.
Absolutely. Let's actually talk about some of your most popular models and the high demand models as well. And also help me understand when it comes to the post GST rationalization. First 2 months, we actually did see some of the move. What happened in December? How much of that also came in December? Also, for your high demand models like, say, the Scorpio N, XUV 700, XUV 3XO, Bolero, what is the current waiting period that customers are expecting right now?
Yeah, so pretty much all of these are running at full capacity right now and largely supplying to customers. As you have noted in the last couple of years, it's scaled up our capacities as well. So the waiting periods are not much at all at this point in time. You're talking about anywhere from 5 to 7 weeks is what we're looking at this point in time. So it's quite reasonable from that perspective. 700, of course, we were taking the volumes down because, as you know, we have a major refresh coming up in Jan with 7XO. So that we took the volume down, and you'll see some of that play out in December where 700 would have gone down. But that's a natural part of how the refreshes happen to that extent. But beyond that, every single model of ours is right now running at full speed. December, generally, sometimes you see some of it up down happening in variants. But really, I think with the GST change and some of the spillover, like you said, from wedding season in November as well, we haven't seen much of a weakness on any of the portfolio products at this point.
Okay. You've also been gaining a lot of traction in electric vehicles. You've also spoken recently about the strong order value visibility as well. So give us a sense of what's the current demand outlook for your newly launched electric SUVs. What's the feedback that you're receiving already?
Yeah, so 9S is the first 7-seater SUV, EV SUV, which is coming out on the market. So very strong reception. I think the media reports have been very, very strong and complimentary of the product as well. We haven't opened bookings yet, but early traction and inquiries have been very encouraging. It's really another choice we are giving to the customer. If you think about it, we have two strong products already in the space. Both of them are very strong in terms of design language, but this one is more of a product which plays into the traditional Mahindra strength, which is the authentic SUV stance to that extent. And with the 7XO coming in, both are products in the 7-seater space, and it's a choice for the customer to decide whether they want to go the EV route or they want to go over the ICE route. And both are very credible products, one on the electron origin space, so the other is a very strong successor to the 700, which has been a fantastic product for us over the last 4 years.
Absolutely. Give us a sense of the exports growth and which are the geographies and the segments that are driving this growth for you, and going forward, what's the outlook there?
Yeah, so the strong markets for us continue to be South Africa and Australia. Both have strong traction for us. We launched 3XO there in the compact SUV space in South Africa and Australia, doing very well in that front. And of course, the major thing for us going into 2026 would be once the 7XO stabilizes in the domestic market, we'll be taking it into Australia and South Africa with 7XO. 700 has done well with not just the diaspora in those markets, the Indian diaspora in those markets, but also with the locals as well. So we're looking forward to taking 7XO there. With the electric origin SUVs, we have a product which we believe can compete globally. And that's a product we are looking at closely to take to UK and EUs as well. And UK is the first market we're looking closely because the right-hand drive market is the second largest SUV market for the right-hand drive space after India. So critical market for us. So we are a little bit off in the analytics phase on how do we go there, what does the unit economics looks like. But if you do enter, you're looking at a 5 to 6 quarter or 4 to 6 quarter time frame of getting into it. And we would be leading with BEVs and not with ICE SUVs.
Absolutely. And now going forward into the new year, if I have to ask you to help us understand which are going to be the key growth drivers for you, which are the segments that you're betting most on, and what are the key reasons behind those? How would you explain that?
Yeah, so honestly, we are betting on the entire portfolio to do well at this point in time since we have gotten good demand. We did a Bolero refresh just before festive as well. That's kind of gotten that product up to capacities in terms of demand. So across the board, but of course, the two major drivers of growth will come from 7XO and the XEV 9S coming into production.
Yes.
The 9S helps us go from a production capacity of about 5,000 in the EVs to 8,000. So that's about 3,000 capacity we are adding in there as well. So that's really what we are driving. We're going to have a few refreshes coming in as well. And at the back end of the year, early next year after that, we'll be looking at our new IQ portfolio coming in, which we unveiled in August as well. So that's about 20,000 of capacity, operational capacity in we are adding in Chakan. So that would start to play out in the next calendar year, not in 2026, but in 2027.
Okay. And what is the lineup looking like, the pipeline for the launches in 2026? What are investors and consumers really looking forward to?
Yeah, like I said, two of the major launches are already underway at this point in time.
Yeah.
And we have two more refreshes coming up within the portfolio, both on the ICE front, on the EV front. And that's really what we are projected at this point in time. And with the strong demand, I think that we believe that should carry us through the year. And then the new IQ kicks in the new year, next year, 27.
Right. What about the price increases? A lot of companies have already started to announce that they are starting their price increases starting today. What's with Mahindra and Mahindra? Which are the segments are you looking at which could be looking at a potential price rise?
Yeah, we're looking at it closely. Of course, we are very cognizant of the fact that with the GST cuts from the government, we transmitted those price cuts to the customers. So what we are doing is we're looking closely at exactly what the commodity increases are and ensuring that if we do it, we'll just transmit those price increases and nothing else, holding the spirit of the GST cuts. The challenge is the industrial commodities like palladium and a few others have gone up. The recent depreciation on rupee has also played a part as well. So my sense is something is imminent at this point in time. Timing is hard to predict. Quantum is hard to predict, but I've seen a couple of them already announced. So we're definitely looking at it closely and some action will be happening shortly.
And a lot of viewers would want to understand, just broadly help us understand, even if the industry is looking at all of these factors and is going on increasing the prices, like Hyundai has announced about a 0.6% or so across its band. What is the kind of offsetting would that do on the GST cuts? Would it be, marginal or would it be substantial? How would you explain that to viewers?
Yeah, it'll be a marginal increase, to be honest. I mean, GST cuts, if you look at it, largely speaking, that delivered anywhere from 7 to 9% customer benefit. And the price increases, if you just take Hyundai's number case in point, I'm not saying that's what we would do, but you're talking about 0.6, 0.7% weighted average increase. So it's quite minimal compared to what the customer benefit came through from GST, right? So I don't think it's going to dent overall demand from that perspective, but I just want to give you a scale of what those two numbers look like.
Absolutely. And do you think most part of the GST-led push that the auto sector was already seeing is out and out, or do you still believe that there will be still demand based on just the GST benefits that people are looking forward to?
Yeah, so it's hard to say. I think the way to think about it is some pent-up demand which used to happen in the SUV space or the PV space that has started to play through as well. But the more important thing is just for the industry perspective, people are trading up. So it's not like once their price cut comes in, they're taking their budgets down. They're actually maximizing on what could I get from there, which is a positive for us as an industry, that you buy the higher end variants rather than the smaller variants, lower variants. So that's quite helpful. But on the CV side, it's triggered a replacement cycle. As you know, there's a cyclical market on the CV side, commercial side.
Sure.
And every 3-4 years, there's a replacement cycle. And this has triggered the cycle. So that super cycle of replacement has started. And that's unlikely to stop at this point.
Okay. Should investors expect Mahindra's growth in the new calendar year to be more volume-led? Will it be a mix-led or will it be margin-led?
Yeah. Very early to say. We're projecting only for FY26 at that point in time. Volume, mid to high teens growth, we are projected and we're sticking to it. Beyond that, we are primarily focused on ensuring we are revenue market share number one in SUVs. That's our stated goal, and that continues to be an important piece for us. Volumes are important, but we want to make sure that we're delivering to the customer proposition. So that's what we focused on. Once the new year comes in, we'll probably put out a projection at this point in time. So I'll stay with it right now.
All right. Well, all the very best to you. And thank you so much for speaking to us on Business Today Television. Here's wishing you and the entire team at M&M a wonderful year ahead, full of surprises that you can continue to bring to your customers as you're used to of doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and same to you. Thanks.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.